Yeah. Great in the market. We got the scoop from the cars to the games. Stay in the loop. Latest news. We break it smart. The hobby is sports. It's where we start.
What is up, everyone? It is Saturday. It is 1 p.m. It means it's time for an episode of Grading the Market. He is Elias. Make sure you give him a follow at lsith_v2. And special announcement, Elias is going to be a new host of Grading the Market. So welcome, Elias.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite. So yeah, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here first, bro. I'm the next host of Grading the Market. You'll see me every Saturday for the most part with my boy Jacob Eric to the left of me.
Yeah, here at Grading the Market, we don't like to use co-hosts, Elias. I don't know. You're a host. All right. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's just something that Anthony and I and we've always rolled with. Speaking of Anthony, everything's fine with him. He's still going to be popping in from time to time. He's still very much a part of the Grading the Market family. We're just taking some time off and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we did ask Anthony for his blessing, and he was like, absolutely. You know what I mean? And so Elias is now going to be the new host for Grading the Market as well.
Nice. Yeah, shout out my boy Anthony Turk. Is one hell of a guy, stand-up guy. He's great at this collecting stuff. So Jacob's gonna bring you all the heat when it comes to the card hobby. My hobby kind of differs from his. I'm over here collecting payments via parlays. Finally got into that whole fantasy game, into the whole gambling stuff. So I'll be covering all that for the most part. But back to you, Jacob.
Oh, there you go. Hey man, before we continue, happy anniversary.
Oh, thanks, brother. Yeah, we celebrated 5 years of marriage yesterday. I couldn't even tell you. I told her I don't think we're technically married though, because when the lady giving our service announced us, she announced us as Mr. and Mrs. Eli Elias Rivera. I was like, girl, that ain't my first name. My first name Jesus. What are you talking about? I said, none of these documents are valid now.
Oh man. Hey, you got everything ready, all set up for Christmas, or what's up?
Yeah, bro. I was able to score the Christmas day off over at my work. Last year, I went ahead and I worked that, and I got Thanksgiving off. We decided to change roles this time. Like I said, we ranked up a lot. We ranked up a lot of gifts for the little one, bro. Even yesterday, even though it was my anniversary, I picked up some stuff for my brother, and the little one walked out with 2 pairs of shoes. I never had 2 pairs of shoes like that, bro. Like that quick. She has about, I'm looking at the tree right now, about 20 something gifts ready to open. So, Christmas is definitely a blessing.
Shout out to Chris here in the chat. He goes, I got 2 boxes for the tops for football coming next month. And 20 seats as well, hoping for a hit. Hey man, good luck. Speaking of tops, we're going to go ahead and dive into that here more in a little bit and stuff like that, because I know the Tops NBA product dropped this week. And yeah, I give my two takes on that, stuff like that. And what else has been you, Elias?
Nothing much, man. Just working on my fitness. Started my own fitness journey. Shout out to Rudy Campos Jr. Always giving me advice on calorie intake and whatnot. Swiss fellow Sucio, he's all about that fitness life. But this fool wants me out there running 4 miles a day. I was like, man, you're barely gonna get me off the couch for cardio. Catch me doing some reps, strength training. Before anything, I just want to give a shout out to my cousin Garrett Talamantes. He's an Aggie. The Aggies are playing the Hurricanes right now. He's real big in the rodeo scene over there in Aggie lands. And he throws concerts in Green, Castroville. I believe tonight he'll be in Divine. So if you ever have an opportunity to catch him out there, y'all go ahead and show him some love. So that's Garrett Talamantes from G1 Rodeo.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Hey, and talking about shout outs, don't forget to visit chunkyflamingo.com. If you go there, use the promo code ChunkyCards20. It gives you 20% off. It also gives you a good chance to get one of these cool Jacob and Anthony cards and stuff like that. You know what? Now that you're here, Elias, we're gonna have to get you a card, man. I mean,
man, I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, I need. Hell yeah.
So yeah, go to like I said, chunkyflamingo.com, enter the promo code ChunkyCards20. You'll get one of those. There's a chance you're going to get, but you're probably going to get one of those cards. Now, don't be DMing me or texting me. For those of y'all who have my number, saying like, "Hey man, I just made an order. Go ahead and slide one." 'Cause I know some of y'all have already been trying to do that. This ain't fanatics, bro. Okay, I'll dive more into that in a little bit. No, but yeah. So congratulations and welcome, Elias. Thank you again for full disclosure, man. This is like the second time I turned to Elias before when I was like, "Hey, I need your help. Please come on," and stuff like that. And um, Elias, thanks again from the bottom of my heart, bro, for doing that for us.
No, I always got time. I always got time, and if I don't have time, I'll make time for you, brother. You know, it's all love on this side.
There it is, Chris. Just give me a damn card. No, man, you gotta go make an order, bro.
Hey, Chris, give me a ride in the G wagon, and I'll pass you one of Jacob's cards, bro. Let's make that deal.
Here we go. Hey, but I know Chris mentioned earlier that he purchased a couple of products from Topps Chrome. I did purchase a mega box earlier or yesterday. I cracked one open. I wanted to see what all the hype was about. It just dropped. 42 cards coming to mega. This mega box ran me roughly about $90.
Damn.
This is that's probably going to be the last mega that I purchased. I just wanted to see what the product was like, and I'm not going to lie, it was actually pretty nice, Elias. It surprised me. I'm not big on purchasing stuff like that, going hunting. I was really hoping to get like a Dylan Harper card or something like that, but
what were some of your big scores, bro?
No Spurs. I got no Spurs. My biggest hit from there was this Cam Thomas Gold Wave out of 50.
Man, Cam Thomas helped me out in one of my parlays, bro. So shout out Cam.
So that is a very nice card, but but looks like on all the packs, the last 3 cards were the inserts and stuff like that. It was a fun break. I'm not gonna lie. I might do a blaster. The blasters, I think we're going for somewhere hovering like around $40. I know I was ribbing Chris and a couple of the guys over on X and stuff like that, saying, "Hey, let's go get a box." And maybe if we do something like that, then maybe I'll join in. But other than that, though, I'll probably just do the strategy that I talk with Chris all the time about, and I tell him, be like, you know what? I spent $90 on this mega box and stuff like that. Can you imagine jumping on eBay and seeing what kind of card I could have got for $90? You know what I mean?
No, man. I mean, I usually stay away from that because I get upset if I don't know the value of something. I have a John Cena. I think it's 8 out of 25. And I didn't know the value of it, bro. I just kept it in my center console in my car. The last time I cleaned it out, I was over here bent corners and whatnot. So I'm like, man, I just destroyed the value of this. If I was gonna send it in to get PSA checked or whatever, I just destroyed whatever value that that card had. But
it's funny that you bring up PSA, because their parent company actually looks like they're going to acquire Beckett, the other big grading company. So those are going to be falling, Beckett and PSA, under the same umbrella, which is God's collectors a little cringe, Elias. You know what I mean? It almost looks like a monopoly. I don't want to jump too far out there, but I have been hearing rumors already that people have been seeing some prices on grading and stuff like that going up, subscriptions and stuff like that. So it has begun. So God's collectors a little worried, stuff like that. We'll rehash that subject later on when everything kind of settles down, but that's kind of like what's going on right now. So
yes. So I believe it was about a month ago, Jacob. I wanted to reach out to you and it completely slipped my mind. Bape and WWE actually released their own collection, their own box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which ran you about 120 or so, because it's Bape, Bathing Ape is a designer brand.
Mm-hmm.
But man, imagine hitting on especially that one-on-one Baby Milo, John Cena card, man, you're set. You're set for a good while, man. Especially living where I'm living, down here. If I were to get that card, I probably wouldn't have to work for at least 2 or 3 years, bro. Just shout out John Cena, the GOAT. It's a nice little card too. I don't know if you can see it on your end.
There you go.
has a nice auto. It's like I was looking into that collection. Once I saw it was over 100, I was like, yeah, I'll just stick to the fakes over at Traders Village. I don't really plan on selling my stuff. So
Yeah. And then shout out also to PC Oregon Ducks too, man. It's just one of the lesson I just told you. I was like, hey, I just spent like $90 on a mega box trying to hunt down a simple Dylan Harper, any kind of Spurs card, whatnot. But I decided to visit PC Oregon Ducks too, and they were able to hook me up with this. Y'all know that I'm a Charger fan, so I got this Omarion Hampton, 1 of 1.
nice, nice.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to them once again. Hey man, a little bit closer to home, bro. What's going on with the Cowboys? They're doing good.
Doing good. You know the answer to that. I don't know why you even brought me up here just to roast me when it comes to my boys. Nah, bro. They picked up maybe 3 weeks ago. They started moving towards the right direction, and it just seems that we stalled out. They're shutting down our defensive players, Trayvon Diggs. He's not getting any playing time. They just announced that that Bland just got season-ending surgery, so it looks like the Cowboys they're calling it a game, calling it a day. I'm hoping we still get to see our starters out tomorrow and Christmas, but being that we only have 1% chance of being in the playoffs, I think Dak Prescott seeding now them gets shut down, maybe on Christmas Day. Well, depending how the NFL higher up see it, right? Because you've seen lately that they've been fining teams for benching their superstars. We've seen it in the NBA. We saw it a couple times during the MLB season. So I don't think they'll let them end their season too prematurely, but I think the second game before last, we could start shutting down their starters. There's no reason to put them out there risking injuries.
Well, not only that, but I think that the magic or the golden number for the Eagles is 1, right? They just need to win 1 game. And I believe they play tonight. I think they have, was it the Washington, the Commanders. So if the Eagles actually win tonight, then the Cowboys would be playing. Yeah, it's over. So then tomorrow, would you just go ahead and sit everybody down for help, or?
Well, that's what I was saying. I think you at least give the fans this one last game before you call it a season. As for the Eagles and Commanders, I think that game's pretty much set in stone for the Eagles to win it. Marcus Mariota is taking the helm. They already went and shut down Jaden Daniels, who, 2 more hits and his shoulders probably coming completely off bone. So, they're playing it smart by having Mariota finish off the season. But I just don't see a way that they beat the Eagles, in my opinion. Debo and Terry can't really do it on their own.
I'm not gonna lie, Elias. Low key, I'm gonna be rooting for the Commanders tonight to win, because then the Cowboys would be that game again for the Cowboys against my Chargers tomorrow would actually mean something, and I want it to be the Chargers to be the one who just ripped their just stop. No postseason for you, none. You will have nothing and like it. That's what I want.
Man, you see that's pretty vicious. I mean, I love the Chargers. I love watching them play, but that O line is going to get Justin Herbert into early retirement, and man, Vidal and them they can't run to save their lives behind that O line, bro. It almost makes you cringe every time the offense is set to play. Justin Herbert's over there wasting his time with the Chargers, and I'll admit it. As a hater, I would want him to stay there, but as a fan of the game, I think Justin Herbert deserves better. Same as Joe Burrows and them. Trevor Lawrence also. Think they all deserve more opportunities in the playoffs. Of course, Dak Prescott too, but he's already been there. Granted, he got bounced a couple times, but I think Justin Herbert deserves better because his game has improved vastly, especially when it comes to the running side of things, the rushing side of things. He's pretty good.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. So, like I said, we got Washington and the Eagles tonight, and then you got Green Bay and Chicago. They have the late game. Stuff like that.
So how do you think that's going to go about? Because the Green Bay Packers O-line is toast, bro. Everyone talks, when you're thinking protection, you're thinking like the steel wall, shout out to the Steelers back then. But
Yeah.
Jordan
me,
Love has
put me
Jordan
down
has
for the
no.
Bears.
And that's the thing. I don't know if I want to be cheering on for Caleb Williams. I'm not a fan, but you got to call a spade a spade. They're healthier and they're leading that division. So, give me Bears by 3.
There you go.
I
I'm
think it's
writing.
going to be a field goal difference.
If you see me looking down, it's because I'm writing down our picks as we go and stuff like that. Just to make sure.
Hey, speaking of picks, did you happen to catch that Circus Act of a boxing match last night, Brody? We had
I,
Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul.
what's a funny story about that? You know what? I was at an establishment yesterday. I don't want
Oh,
to
I
say
saw.
where, but yeah, I was joking around and stuff like that. And that college football game last night was at Alabama, and it was pretty good. But I thought
Alabama and Oklahoma.
yeah, but when they were down 17-0, it kind of like I just kind of like lost interest. Spurs game, and we'll get more into this here in a little bit. That Spurs kind of like blew them out of the water and stuff like that. So I kind of lost interest in that. And I know this fight I did catch myself kind of paying attention to the fight and stuff like that. But yeah.
So what were your thoughts on that ending? I know my homeboy Jeff Garcia from Ken's 5 News was having the time of his life after Jake Paul got his head rocked. Even though it took the 6th round, I believe that Anthony Joshua could have dropped him from the get-go. There had to be something in that contract that had him making it past the 5th round, because once half of the 5th came into fruition, Anthony Joshua just let it rain. And all it took was that one straight to put Jake Paul to sleep. Man, he was damn near tackling Joshua himself. He was on his knees for the whole fifth round, begging for this match to end.
I loved every minute of it.
And the aftermath of that, Jacob, did you happen to catch Jake Paul's jaw?
Yeah, I think he broke it, right? Didn't he break it like in 2 pieces or 2 places or something like that?
So from the molars and 4 teeth upward, they ended up impacted. So they were crossing some weird stuff like this. It looked painful, and he said he had surgery this morning. So shout out Jake Paul for putting on a spectacle, I guess you can call it. It wasn't exactly the best of boxing. Hell, when you have Anderson Silva versus Tyron Woodley in the other card, it's a circus act.
Real quick, last time we see him or no?
Last time we see Jake Paul?
Yeah.
Last time we see him fighting a heavyweight.
Oh,
in my opinion. But last time, yeah, because I think they kept saying that he was a cruiserweight and moved up to fight a heavyweight, but he's just a disgrace to the sport. Everyone says he puts the work in. Man, you could tell when they're holding back shots. I even saw a side-by-side comparison with the Mike Tyson shot. Tyson had so many openings with that right hook that he started throwing feints when feints didn't need to be thrown. So I don't know, bro. I'm not a fan of all this BS.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. That right shot, that was pretty brutal, man. And
oh yeah.
Paul's reaction had that react. If you watch boxing or martial arts or any kind of like fighting combat sports or something like that, Paul's reaction, you knew it because his jaw, like the way he moved, his mouth open was like, and you were just you knew it was like, oh, he broke his jaw and stuff like that.
It's like those little kids staring into the deadlights. If you're a fan of it, you know what I'm talking about. The second those deadlights come out, your soul leaves your body. And that's exactly what happened to Jake Paul last night.
Yeah.
And it was great. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Loved it. Hey, moving on, man. How's Spurs looking? Doing good? You okay with this Emirates Cup loss and stuff like that?
Man, that was one of the most disappointing fourth quarters I've ever seen the boys play. Usually, we all know about the Spurs third quarter curse. It's no surprise, right? Our boys usually can't keep up in the third. That's usually when we blow the leads. But to have it happen in the fourth quarter was just heartbreaking, being that we led the whole game up to that point. The fact that they had on 2 different occasions 10-0 runs on us was just horrible. Missed layups, missed threes. De'Aaron Fox was damn near spoon feeding the Knicks. Jalen Brunson decided he wanted to showcase, his MVP skills against us. It was heartbreaking, man. Yeah. And the wind was definitely sucked out of the room by the mid of by mid fourth quarter. That we already knew it was a good done deal.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Loki, I really, really wanted that cup. You know what I mean? I was a little bit upset, had a little reaction to it, but oh well, we'll see what happens. Hey, moving on to last night, the Spurs bounced back. They get a pretty good win. I guess think it was against the Hawks and stuff like that. How did you feel about that little bounce back?
Man, I enjoyed it as a Spurs fan, but as a gambler, it hurt me because I took Jalen Johnson in three different parlays, and all my other legs hit except for him getting over 6 assists. And bro, once you're down by 30, why are you gonna keep him out there? Being that he's your second best player behind Trey Young, right?
Hmm.
So they benched him early. None of my stuff hit, but it was good to see them get whooped on by 30 points. I believe they had projected the Spurs to beat the Wizards by more than 14, and the Hawks would have been a closer game. I think that's what the projections were, maybe a 6 point difference. Man, I don't know what the hell got into Wembenyama, but for him to get that stat line and with only 20 minutes to play, Jacob, that
Hmm.
was phenomenal play. And if y'all follow me on X, y'all see I've been very critical of Wemby this season. And before anyone gets upset, says, "Oh well, the cup game he played horribly because of the passing of his grandma." I mean, it doesn't just all fall on him, but I do feel like his effort in within the paint or his shot selection could have been better. I know he wasn't in his clear, he wasn't in his right state of mind, but still, if you're going to be the leader of a team, then you have to lead. Um, but yeah, having seeing him yesterday go off for what he did was just that was great. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I think the Spurs they bounced back, and I kind of what do you know? It was against Washington, so I think they were going into the game with favored by like 14.5 and stuff like that. So
Yeah, against Washington,
yeah,
and then how about the Hawks?
the Hawk. I'm sorry, yeah, the Hawks. Yeah, I low key. Okay, so I really didn't pay too much attention, and I'm going back to that story where I was at a certain establishment last night. And if you follow on X, you'll saw that I took a picture and stuff like that. So when I was there, funny story. Um, the DJ sucked. It was kind of one of those things where it looked like, well, I know it is, where the DJ kind of like set up and just hit like a playlist and then took off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like so the people like the workers, like the bartenders and stuff like that, they were like, ugh, like they were fed up and they were looking around. The DJ wasn't anywhere to be found. They didn't even know who he was. So they were like, "Can you go DJ?" And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, can you do DJ?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll be the DJ." So I went back there, and that's when they snapped the picture when I was like in the DJ booth, and I'm getting ready to do my thing. I'm like, "Let's go! I'm gonna do this." And then the DJ, showed up. He was like, "Hey, what's going?" On? I was like, "Oh man, no disrespect." And he was cool with it. He was like, "Yeah, no, I'm here." And I was like, "All right." So I took, and then dude, like a little bit later, um, well, later on throughout the evening, he took off early. You know what I mean? So then they came back to me and they were like, "Can you go DJ?" And I was like, "No, come on, man.
you're like he already checked me once. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
you know what I mean? Come on, man. It, I'm not doing it." But yeah, so I didn't pay too much attention to the game last night. You know what I mean? Long story short, truth be told, just being honest. Uh, you know, what
No,
about
but
college football, man? You've been paying attention to college football?
I've been trying to keep up with these bowl games. Like I said, I was trying to check out today's Aggie versus Florida game. Man, that first half was probably the worst played football I've witnessed in all of college ball. I mean, the wind doesn't help much, right? But you had, I believe, two missed field goals by the Hurricanes. Um, they had I think they had five passing yards at the end of the first quarter, 30 at the end of the second quarter for Florida. Then the Aggies, on the other hand, man, Beck, what the hell? Um,
Mhm.
their their running backs just not doing anything, man. So it's been a stalemate for the most part. What I don't understand is why they are gonna, after they get that 40-yard bomb, right? They end up right in the 15-yard line. I get it's usually a chip chop field goal, but with the way the weather and all that's going on, you would think they'd attack the end zone. Go for it on fourth. Try and score then. Being that the other team only has 5 yards of offense, like what's there to lose? Obviously, your defense is good enough, but no, man, they went up there and they muffed they muffed that kick so bad. And then a few possessions down the line before the end of the half, you had a punt return for nearly 70 yards, bro. Just for them to get set up a field goal and kick that far right. It was atrocious. Probably the worst, like I said, the worst I've ever seen ball played in a bowl game at that, bro. We
Speaking of,
got
Chris jumps
yeah.
in here. He says this Miami 8M game has been whack as hell. Yeah, and I think they went into the half both 0-0. Currently, I do have that game on. Miami is winning 3-0. In the third.
Sad thing is that that might be enough to put them over with the way these two teams are playing.
No
I'm,
way.
I'm gonna be so disappointed if the Aggies get bounced
You think so?
over 3 points. Man, their defense isn't holding up. So
Just to keep myself honest, right before the game started, I text to Rudy Aggies. That's something I normally do when something like this, like later on, Rudy's going to get a text on my picks for tonight's NFL game because I don't like to make those afterwards and stuff like that. Like who does? You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I did roll with the Aggies on this one. That's what I said that I was going to do. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start wrapping it up. Once again, he's Elias. Make sure you give him a follow. Oh, you know what? We forgot to give a shout out. You want to give a shout out to our sponsor, MCS?
Just shout out Chris Leha and the crew over there at MCS General Contracting. If you're looking for the best concrete work in the 210 area and surrounding areas, y'all go ahead and send a message to MCS General Contracting Zone Leha. Go and follow their page on X. It'd probably be easy. They're always doing giveaways and whatnot, especially with the holiday season coming up. There might be something in the mix. Maybe we'll collab on something. But yeah, it's not always the cheapest work, but it's the best work around. Shout out MCS General Contracting.
Exactly. Make sure you give them a call at 210-774-9155. And they like to say diamond hard.
Diamond hard, everything. Always slanging that rock. If you know, you know.
Elias, what you got going on for the rest of the weekend, brother?
So I have work today, but tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be out by 1 and I get to just spend the whole day watching football with my family. Maybe putting in picks, maybe not. That's pretty much it. What do you have planned for the rest of the weekend?
Pretty much the same thing that you just said. Just watching a whole lot of sports. Hopefully, I don't find myself behind a DJ booth again and stuff like that.
And if you do, you can't go wrong with playing Cowboy Cumbia, bro. I was telling you that last night.
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because I was looking for that song like when that was the Friday. Like I was gonna make a video and being like our first request. You know what I mean? And then boom, I was gonna launch it. But hey, once again, man, welcome back, Elias. He is the new host for Great in the Market. Like I said, over here at Great in the Market, we don't like saying co-host. Elias is going to be a new host. We got the blessings from Anthony. Anthony said, okay, Anthony is fine. He's doing good. Everything's okay. He's going to be popping in from time to time. But yeah, now on moving forward, Elias is going to be the second half of Great in the Market. We got to work on your card, brother. I'll make sure to get started on that. So shoot me some ideas of what you would like for it to look like.
No, I got you. I'll hit you with that ASAP. Like I said, thanks for having me. I feel more than welcome being back on the Box Score Studio team, on the Grading the Market team. Shout out Anthony, shout out Jacob. I'm looking forward to doing this more frequently, bro. I mean, I'm set for Saturdays, and if I have to do this from my car off my little old iPhone, you go ahead and make it happen too.
There you go. Hey, in full disclosure, not only are we going to be working on a card for Elias, but jumping into the hobby world, when you see people opening up cards, they have like what's called breaker mats and stuff like that. And that's the mat that's in the background that you can see, there's like decorations and stuff like that. We're going to be working on a customized mat for ourselves, for our show. So if you have any ideas, shoot them this way. If y'all have any ideas of what you would like to see, shoot them this way. Steel's drummer jumps up here. He says, "What's up, guys? Man, it's funny that he's up in here. We got some more news coming up in the future about that and stuff like that. Like we said, make sure you give us a follow, subscribe to Box Score Studios, man. Like Rudy likes to say, there's so much stuff going on. You don't want to get left behind, bro. it's kind of weird saying Box Score Studios, so right? It's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah, bro. I almost said it the other name a couple of times myself. But like I said, I'm just happy to be back on the team. You said be left behind. Sith, never that. You know I had to catch up. I was gonna find my way back one way or another. And shout out Jacob for personally inviting me on here. And Nestio Drummer, what's up? Shout out to my boy Matt Gomez and the whole SAFC crew, the whole Nestio section. I mean, I guess y'all Nestio's all right. You know, that's coming from Sucio. We don't always see eye to eye, but Matt is my boy. Much love to Matty Gomez and Rafa, Sam Salinas, and the whole crew over there in that Nestio corner.
Thank
Oh,
you,
and
Jack.
Harry too. Harry too. Before Harry comes at me.
There you go. There you go. All right, man. Well, like I said, welcome back, Elias. And on behalf of Elias and myself, I'm Jacob Eric. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody. Oh, Merry Christmas to all of y'all.
Oh, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and whatever else y'all celebrate. Peace.
There you go.